Welcome back. In our last lesson, we explored the neuroscience of trust and the crucial importance of helping children develop in safe and trusting environments, both at home and in the classroom. We also looked at some positive behaviors that teachers can embody to create those safe spaces. In my experience, theater was a place where, both as a student and later as a teacher, all of these concepts became a tangible reality. There is immense potential that can be unlocked in children through theater. American scholar Julia Lupton wrote a paper titled Trust in Theater, in which she says theater offers a laboratory and clinic for exploring trust. Theater depends on the face-to-face encounter of actors in the ensemble and of the ensemble with the audience, all of whom are engaged in efforts of mutual support. Lupton explores the profound relationship between trust and theater on various levels. The crucial importance of trust within cast and crew is the key factor for any production to succeed. This is the reason why trust exercises are one of the main pillars of theatrical work. Lupton also explores trust as an element in the playwriting and the embodying that this represents when acting and staging a performance. So, we could say that trust in the theater is nurtured in various ways. Through specific trust exercises, through the natural dynamic of the rehearsal space and the production process, through the script analysis and character building journey of a play, and through the actual experience of the live performance in front of an audience. So, how can we bring this to the classroom? First, earn your students' trust. For the actors, the beginning of the journey starts with trusting the director, the playwright, and the play. A performer that judges their character a priori will only understand the surface and is unlikely to achieve a true connection with the material. This is the same trusting relationship that a student must establish with the teacher, the curriculum, and the school. An actor's most usual block is precisely not knowing why a character does something. Both actor and teacher have no choice but to get to the bottom of every question in order to let the truth speak for itself. This quest for pertinent, clear, logical, and actionable answers is a testimony of their trustworthiness. In the theater, it is obvious how not understanding something is literally paralyzing. A teacher that isn't afraid of questions is a teacher that is encouraging the journey into learning. Just like an actor can't perform a scene without understanding the subtext and the actions, students can't really learn if they don't understand where the knowledge comes from, how we got to it, and why it is important. This is knowledge that is owned, not memorized. When we memorize things, we forget them quite quickly because they're not rooted in true understanding. We memorize because we don't trust ourselves to understand and apply. An actor who is just repeating lines will deliver an empty performance, just like a student that just memorizes facts for a test. They might pass with flying colors only to forget everything the next day. This is pointless, and it weakens the trust structures in education in every level. Trusting the process and the director begins with being cast for a role. This is the first vote of confidence. Your students are your cast. They have skills and challenges, but ultimately, they got the part, and they will make it their own. It's a process of co-creation. Casting is not about seeing a complete performance from the start, but about viewing the creative possibilities of the actor as an autonomous artist. This understanding and belief will make you trustworthy for your students. Then, encourage your students to trust each other. The first challenge I give my students is to be able to look at each other. Looking someone in the eye is more difficult than it seems. When we make eye contact, we present ourselves, showing our confidence as well as our vulnerability. This vulnerability creates trustworthiness while also conveying to the other person that one is ready to be transformed by them too. Actors spend more time listening than speaking when they're on stage. To truly listen, we need to truly see each other. One of the most effective and transformative exercises for both eye contact and listening is the mirror, which you will find explained in the activity section of this course. Before doing it, a lot of students ask, why is this considered a trust exercise? It seems that the participants are just subtly imitating each other. However, the connection that develops from following, leading, and supporting each other's movements is the foundation of trust. For beginners, it is very common to giggle out of nervousness. We truly are not used to looking people in the eye. The sudden feeling of being truly seen can be overwhelming. The laughter is okay, and it'll eventually pass. Nobody asks why the mirror is a trust exercise after they've done it. It is clear. After creating this strong connection, trust can be nurtured through other activities that make our interconnection more evident. Popular trust exercises may use blindfolds, controlled falling, pantomime, and nonverbal communication to create a strong, unified ensemble or classroom cohort. Lupton explores the roots these activities share with childhood games like peekaboo, hide and seek, and blind man's buff that encourage cooperation dynamics between players through some deprivation of the senses. For children, these games create the foundations for trust and friendship. Eliminating the monopoly of vision also encourages participants to use and trust their other senses, which ultimately strengthens their trust in themselves. Taking a risk is rewarded. The blind walk and obstacle course are examples of this kind of activity. These explore the trust paradox in all its glory. Every participant knows that the tables will be turned, and everyone wants to make sure their partner is safe and comfortable. Many actors report an incredible feeling of freedom when exploring the space blindfolded, knowing that their partner is looking out for them. Interestingly, trust does not eliminate the feeling of risk. Lupton says, trust is not the opposite so much as the condition of courage. Rationally, knowing one will be caught is not the same as actually leaping, trusting we will be caught. Embodied knowledge of trust is the key. Show your students you trust them. Only the director and the teacher, as a privileged member of the audience, as one of my dear mentors would say, has a view of the full picture. And once the play starts, the director is powerless. So he or she needs to trust the machine. But every other element of the machine, actors, technicians, stage managers, crew, etc., have to trust the invisible work that others are doing. This same dynamic can be established through different class projects founded on student-directed learning and problem-based learning. Give your students different roles to solve a puzzle and take a step back. For instance, only one can see and direct another who is blindfolded to place the correct capitals on a world map. Have a science debate with two-headed experts that can only speak one word at a time. Use charades to portray historical events. Save your teammates by solving different math problems. You can use the core principles of these theater games and adapt them to whatever you need. Each day is a new rehearsal and a new opportunity for learning. Let your students start afresh each day. Remember, they got the part, and they will deliver in their own way. You can also use theater as a vehicle for both trust and content. Trust is a basic condition for theatrical work and also an essential theme in dramatic literature. Deconstructing and understanding the subtext of a play will most likely always lead to a reflection on trust dynamics as a fuel for conflict and story. Theater makers and doers learn social behaviors from plays. They know that someone like Iago is full of empty compliments and self-interest and is not to be trusted. They know that an oracle will tell you the truth, even if it's not what you want to hear. A John Proctor would rather die than lie, showing us the true value of integrity. And a Blanche Dubois invites us to see through the illusions so we can offer her our compassion. Stories have explained trust to us since we were children, and can be used as examples of what you are trying to do or not to do in building trust in your class. In the theater, these stories and lessons not only live in the mind, but also in the body. They are not just tales, they are experiences. There are infinite ways in which plays can intersect with curriculum and help deliver and explore content while also deconstructing the dynamics of trust. For example, you can do dramatized readings of scenes from Arthur Miller's The Crucible to discuss McCarthyism and the Salem witch trials. Use it to link it to different current political situations. Or read Ibsen's An Enemy of the State to discuss our economic relationship with nature. You can find many learning opportunities through the classics, which will help you frame the content within a relatable story and bring it home. Ultimately, you can take advantage of theater as pedagogy for trust and intersectional learning. Drama teacher Mike Steele, in his article Developing Trust with Cooperative Drama, advocates for theatrical school productions as vehicles for nurturing trust, not only through acting, but through participating in all areas of production, creating costumes and props, constructing and painting a set, organizing a fundraiser, or creating promotional materials. Finding their areas of interest and skills will help students see each other in new lights. I'm prepared to say that any class content or subject can be performed. Finding out the history of a chemistry formula not only will provide insight into the root of the knowledge, but an opportunity to create a script that will summarize the content and highlight the essentials while everyone finds different ways to portray their understanding through all the elements of performance. Any team project will create a similar trust dynamic. An exercise like the Biopic Express can be a great way to break the ice and allow these hidden talents and passions float to the surface. Apart from the arsenal of trust games that can be practiced, just the mere collaboration in different areas of interest can create the necessary cohesion for a team to thrive. If you'd like to know more about bringing theater techniques into your classroom, even math, check out the course Teaching Math with the Performing Arts by my colleague Anushka Fitzherberts. There is a before and after in groups after they've been through the experience of doing a play together. The shared work and cooperation create memorable bonds for life. I can say, without a shadow of a doubt, that many of my closest friends would not be so if it had not been for a play that threw us together. Maybe on the surface we would not have given each other the time of day, but the play gave us a joint purpose and an opportunity to truly know each other. But don't panic. You don't have to produce a full-blown school play to use these tools. These activities and principles are applicable as an end in themselves. In my experience, trust exercises work better in the context of a specific joint goal, which can be anything from a class project to the exploration of a theme or just strengthening safe collaborative spaces. It may seem that trust is an abstract concept, but for students of all ages, trust is specific, practical, functional, and rewarding for teamwork, for friendship, for learning, and for having fun. Trust as play is simple and obvious, and theater activities, as well as a holistic journey of theater itself, provide all the tools to find trust and trustworthiness tangible, visible, and beautiful. Trust in theater can show us the short, medium, and long-term rewards of stepping into the unknown. I hope this course has been helpful in illustrating the fascinating relations between trust, education, and well-being, and how theatrical principles and activities can help you create safe spaces in a practical, purposeful way. I'm Anna O'Callaghan, theater director, producer, and teacher, and I trust that we will continue learning for holistic well-being together. Until next time.